So the next one what we need to explain about is we are going to discuss regarding data analysis. So this is the integral part, and this is the area where you need to focus much on. Why? Because many complexities are involved, so many technical jargons are involved in this, so we are trying to present it in very simple terms. So the different types of analysis available for you is the one way is univariate analysis, the next one is bivariate analysis, and the last one the more complicated one is called multivariate analysis. So univariate analysis, the examination of the distribution of cases on only one variable at a time. That means college, graduate. While doing the analysis, we may be taking single variable into account. That means if we want to just study about the college, that we may be discussing about how many branches are there in that college, how many departments are there. So single variable alone that we'll be taking, and we'll be trying to analyze regarding that. This is called univariate analysis. Bivariate, examination of two variables simultaneously. That means two variables at a time that we may be taking. If for example say a college that we may be taking, and a gender also that we may be taking. So different types of college, arts, science, commerce that we are having, male and female, the gender that we are having. So arts college male to female, science college male to female, engineering college male to female. So see, two variables simultaneously that we are taking, and relatively we are assessing standing upon both the variables. So an examination of two variables simultaneously, relation between gender, college, graduation, all these things. So two variable at a time. Multivariate, the examination of more than two variables simultaneously. So if we try to analyze the correlation between or the independence between two or more variables at a time, we can call it as a multivariate analysis. Relationship between gender, race, college, graduation. Likewise, n number of variables that you can take. And why this is said as to be complicated is that, see, when number of variables are increased, so that the information what you need to grab from that again will be increasing, so that we may be able to get very complicated results also. So the resultant effect will be even though it is complicated, we will be able to grab very vital information from the data if we try to go for any of the multivariate approaches. Purpose is that univariate analysis, what we'll be taking is that we'll be using it for description. Bivariate analysis, it is that determining the empirical relationship between two variables, because two variables that we may be taking. Multivariate analysis, that determining the empirical relation among the variables. It will be written among the variables. It is not so clear here. So the determining the empirical relationship between the two variables. So here more than two variables will be there. So among the variables that we may be going across, we may be focusing much onto that. So one of the multivariate analysis or high-end statistical technique what we are having, it is called discriminant analysis, or it is rather called as a discriminant function. Discriminant analysis is a technique for analyzing data when the criteria or dependent variable is categorical and the predictor or independent variables are interval in nature. That means this is a technique whereby we will be trying to relatively assess the capability of a variable to discriminate from one to that of the other. So this analysis is these days very well used in management research, especially in marketing research and all. This is being used in very high extent in order to find out the discriminant ability of a variable. Especially this is used much more in establishing consumer behavior as such and all. So the objectives of discriminant analysis will be development of a discriminant function or linear combination of the predictor or independent variables, which will be best discriminating between the categories of the criteria or the dependent variable. See, usually in the last class also I had explained regarding what exactly is an independent variable and what exactly is a dependent variable. So usually if you believe that consumer decision making is a dependent variable. Say that no, we may consume or not. So yes or no, two answers can be there. Consumer decision making can be depending upon various things like income, then lifestyle of the people, then again how often what is your opinion about certain thing, your own perceptions regarding certain products and all. So different items can contribute to a consumer's decision making. So if we are relatively using discriminant analysis in that particular thing, we will be trying to calculate the discriminating ability of all the independent variables on the dependent variable. That means we can even predict whether a particular person, he may buy a thing or he may not buy a thing. So that's sort of probability that we may be able to find out. So examination of whether significant difference exists among the group in terms of predictor variable. Significance also it will be calculating. Determination of which predictor variable contribute most of the intergroup differences. That also that there will be classification of cases to one of the groups based on the values of the predictor variable. This also that they will be calculating. Evaluation of the accuracy of classification. So how accurate is the classification that is made based on the discriminant function will also be calculated by the discriminant function.